Yes, yes, yes. Mr. Raphael Dawkins with the Combat Radio. And today, we're looking at the Jessica McCaskill versus Cecilia Braekhus fight. And it was certainly an interesting one. The scores were 95-95, so one judge has it as a draw. 97-93, so that was a one round in that one, and 97-94, so that's 3 rounds in that one. So as the scores suggest, it was a very, very close fight. On the left is Cecilia Braekhus from Norway, and on the right is the American Jessica McCaskill. The question is, who won? Okay, so actually, let's have a look at some of these pictures. Braekhus on the left was going for her 25th consecutive win as a champion, something previously only achieved by Joe Louis. Joe Louis, big debate. And standing in her way was Jessica McCaskill. Okay, so how do we get into this? Let's get into this straight away. So, moving up in weight and matched against the longest reigning women's champion ever, Jessica McCaskill was looking to make history. The unified 140-pound titleist from Chicago was up against Cecilia Braekhus. Where are we? Okay. McCaskill met Braekhus at an agreed upon 145-pound catch weight, moving up in weight, but ultimately aiming to prove that size didn't matter. Not when it's that close. Okay. Prior to the cards being read, it was anyone's guess who would win. It was that close. Very, very close. You had McCaskill, who was relying on the close fight, getting close and putting that work in, and you had the longer, rangier Braekhus looking to work behind the jab. Okay, so McCaskill came. Is McCaskill? McCaskill. Yeah, McCaskill came in fast at the start. She just went in, jumped on Braekhus, really took the fight to Braekhus. But then a couple rounds later, Braekhus began to find her feet, or rather find her range, and she tightened up the fight. 4 rounds in. Could have been 2 apiece, but it was that close. Some people say, well, it could have been anything, but I had it 2 apiece in the 4th. And as the fight progressed, however, McCaskill's aggression seemed to be telling. But like I said, it was super close all the way. McCaskill was quoted after the fight that while she was waiting for the results to be read out, I was thinking to myself that it takes a lot to take it away from the champion. McCaskill said those final moments holding her breath before being able to exhale. You see, McCaskill emerged the winner, stopping Braekhus' 6-year title reign and stopping her from matching Joe Louis. Joe Louis's 25 title defenses. It was very close, it was somewhat controversial, and it was certainly an upset. with the smaller McCaskill coming up in weight. But it was a spectacle. It was a hell of a spectacle. It was a fight which now sets up a potential clash with Katie Taylor for McCaskill. Of course, they fought before in 2017. I think I'm right in saying it was 2017. It went 10 rounds in a close fight. I didn't watch that fight. It was reputedly close. But this now sets up, of course, Braekhus could have had Taylor. But that didn't work out. And now that honor may go to McCaskill. It makes a lot of sense. She's got a strap, big WBC strap, to become the unified women's welterweight champion. So it's going to be interesting to see how this one plays out. But big fight looming on the horizon for Braekhus. It could be two big fights. I mean, for McCaskill, it could be two big fights, because if there's a rematch, which in these cases oftentimes are, then yeah, that's two big fights for McCaskill. McCaskill from Chicago, who was once homeless, has two full-time jobs, not just being a full-time boxer, champion boxer, but apparently she is also a banker. So that's somebody who's done very, very well for herself. They've both done well for themselves. And I have to give a special shout out to Braekhus, who was exceptionally gracious in defeat. She merely smiled, walked in a circle, came back, and maintained a regal poise. So, got to give it up to these ladies. The women's game is certainly in the news right now. Certainly taking the headlines. Certainly they're bringing the women's game to the forefront, giving them good exposure. We've had some great women's fights of late, and this was no exception. And there we see the moment. Cecilia Braekhus, First Lady of Boxing, self-proclaimed First Lady of Boxing. I think she earned that title with being an undefeated champion 6 years, with 24 successful title defeats. And there you have the happy, smiley face of Jessica McCaskill. Even the referee looks happy. Look at him. They're all celebrating. Okay, and so that is the tale of Cecilia Braekhus versus Jessica McCaskill. We have a new unified women's welterweight champion. Mr. Raphael Dawkins, it's the Combat Radio, and I'm out.